Today, here in Colorado, the last several days in fact, it's been quite smoky. So if you live here, you've noticed that certainly as you look around. And something that I do most every day is go for a jog, go for a walk, get out and about. So even though it's been smoky, that's something that I've kept doing. And as I've kept doing it, something important has come up as I've noticed. As I'm looking around, you can see off into the distance as you're walking, as you're running. And as you look to see where the mountains once were, right, they're not there anymore. Of course, yes, they're there, you just can't see them. It's thick smoke. And this is from thousands of miles away, but it's made its way here. And as you're walking around, you look off into the distance, and the smoke is thick and covers the view. You can't see far away, you can only see a few miles in front of you. The once beautiful mountains with all the detail and color and sometimes snow at the top, those aren't there. They're hidden behind this thick cloud of smoke. And yet, as I'm looking around right in front of me, a few feet right in front of me where I am, it seems as though it's clear, right? It seems as though it's clear where I am. Yet as I look off into the distance, far away, it's like, man, that is some thick smoke out there. But what I've come to actually realize is that the smoke is all around, even in the places that are very close to me. I'm just not able to notice it. I can't see it. You see, I can look far off and see the effects of the smoke as I look far away. But as I look right in my own circle, in my own path, it seems as though it's clear. And yet I know that I'm in fact in the very same smoke that is off in the distance. I'm walking in right where I am. And so I began to thinking about what that means for us. What the illustration is there, and I want to read a passage that I think is very important that ties this all together. This is Jesus' words, Matthew chapter 7. Do not judge others, and you will not be judged. For you will be treated as you treat others. The standard you use in judging is the standard by which you will be judged. And why worry about the speck in your own friend's eye when you have a log in your own? How can you think of saying to your friend, let me help you get rid of that speck in your eye when you can't see past the log that is in your own eye? Hypocrite! First get rid of the log in your own eye, then you will see well enough to deal with the speck in your friend's eye. You see, we're very good at noticing and calling out sin that's over there, that's far off, those people over there. As I looked over in the distance and saw the smoke, it was thick. Man, that's a problem over there, right? And as I looked right around my personal area, I didn't notice it. I couldn't notice it. I couldn't feel it. I couldn't sense it. It was too familiar, too close. And that's very much the same way we treat sin. Man, those people over there got some problems. Those people over there, man, they're having a hard time. They're struggling with sin quite a bit over there, right? And yet we have a hard time noticing when that sin is close, when that sin is personal. And what Jesus is saying here is like, hey, don't judge them over there. Look inward. Look at your own sin, your own struggles. Don't try to tell them how they need to fix themselves while you have many things you need to fix about your own self, right? I notice it about them, but not about me. Jesus says the same way in which you judge those people and their sins is how you're going to be judged yourself. So perhaps if you show great mercy and forgiveness to those people, that's what you yourself will receive. You see, many of us are very good at calling out sin of someone else. We look to people who struggle with certain things, believe certain ways, and man, those are the bad people, right? Those are the messed up people. Those are the people that don't have it all together, but I, right, have it all together. That's what we trick ourselves into believing. My sin isn't as bad as their sin. My problems isn't as bad as their problems. And in doing so, we fulfill this very scripture that Jesus says here in the Sermon on the Mount. You see, he says that don't call out the speck, the little tiny speck in someone else's eye. Instead, look and notice you have a whole log, a whole stick, a whole twig sitting in your own eye. See, we all have our own sin to worry about, our own struggles to worry about, our own issues to work through. And in fact, I believe what Jesus is saying here is if we instead looked inward, looked at our own selves and worked on our own selves to improve and better, to get rid of sin, to fight against the temptation, that the world will be a better place. But instead, that's a little harder. Jesus knows the truth that we love to, instead of looking at our own sin, we love to look at someone else's sin. And as we judge someone else based upon their sin, that's a little easier, because then I don't have to worry about my sin. And so even in doing this, the church today has become so divided, the world has become so divided, because it's so easy to just look across the aisle, across the party, across different racial lines, across different national lines, whatever lines we want to draw, it's easy to look over there to those people and see all the problems that they have. And I want to ask us today to reconsider Jesus' words here in this passage. Let's look at our own selves and worry about our own issues, our own sin. Let me hate my sin more than I hate their sin. Let me work through my own struggle that I might become a better person, that I might become closer to Jesus, that I might understand my purpose here in life, and to learn that I'm going to love them well, and in doing so reveal the truth to them. But I cannot do that if I overstep, if I don't realize the issues, the sins, the struggles that I have in my own heart. The own sin of jealousy and pride, the sin of resentment, all these things that can well up in my life, in your life, keep us from actually being the representatives of Jesus to those people, right, that we're supposed to be. So hey, take Jesus' words for what they are today. Look inward at your own sin. Don't look outward at someone else's. Our job is not to judge them. In fact, Jesus' very first words here says, do not judge them. That's not what we're asked to do. Man, it feels good sometimes to think, I'm a Christian, I'm following Jesus, I know the right answers and the rules and everything is good, so I'm going to look over there and judge people over there. Jesus doesn't want us to do that. He says it's not our job. God is the judge, not us. Jesus has asked us to love people and that we will be known in this world for our love. So I ask you today, hey, don't judge. Don't judge someone else. Speak truth in love, but don't judge someone else. Look inward, deal with your own sin. And in doing so, you become a better person, more in tune with who you are and what you're supposed to be doing. And in doing so, you love those around you better. Hey, I pray you have a wonderful week. I pray this has been an encouragement to you. I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to reach out, leave a comment. Visit our website at meadowschurch.com. And I hope to see you soon. God bless.